guys, it's Jay and I'm back with a new video today, and I'm actually going to be doing a get ready with me, which you probably already knew because you saw the title of this video. But I was actually going to do like a formal sit down one, but I felt like it was a little too serious, so I decided to do a get ready with me so you can see what I wear on a regular-ish basis when I do wear makeup, and kind of make it more of a big sis friend advice video versus just formally talking to the camera. Sorry, I haven't waxed my armpits. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing today. So we will get right into it. So first, I'm gonna let you guys know what products I'm using as well as my advice at the same time. And I'm actually opening up a new Real text. I can't talk today. I feel like because I'm in a rush, it's like worse. So I'm gonna be opening up a new Real Techniques sponge today, and it is long overdue. My Morphe one was stinky. And I'll put my hair back a little bit. My sponge is nice and big. And I like these because they're cheaper than a beauty blender, but they do the job, so I go back. Because I got a 4-pack for less than $20, and a beauty blender I think is $20. I'm gonna be using the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, and I actually haven't been using primer. And I know it's supposed to fill in your pores, and I have really bad pores, but I have acne scarring pores. So I feel like it's different than just having big pores. So I haven't been using it because I feel like it doesn't make that much of a difference, but I'm still debating on whether I'm gonna be using that or not, but for today I won't be using it. I don't even know if this is a color match. I don't really care. When I do foundation, I just choose based on kind of ish if it matches, but not as bad as James Charles. Like his is on a different level of it really doesn't match. No tea, no shade, sister. But I mean, he does bomb makeup, so something's working for him. And today I'm going for like a a semi-natural look where everything is covered because I don't have great skin, but it still looks natural. Like I'm not doing eyeshadow, I don't think, or anything like that. I just want my makeup to look very natural for the photos. So pretty much just keeping my skin nice so that it's easier in post-production when I edit it later. Yeah, so we're gonna go in with that. And this is similar to what I normally do on a regular basis. I don't wear makeup every day. I hardly do anymore, but I take similar steps on a regular basis if I do wear makeup. Okay, let's go right into questions. I'm already like 5 minutes in and I haven't started any of that advice, which is actually the main point of this video. Okay, so my first piece of main advice, I'm gonna be using the Tarte Shape Tape in tan. I look super tan on this camera, I swear. I'm not, kinda am after Coachella. But my first piece of advice, finally getting into it, is that everyone is on a completely different route. And a lot of my advice is gonna be no duh, but I feel like someone's gotta say it to your face, and if it's me, then it's me. But for me personally, I did not get a job right away after college, and that was something that really stressed me out for a while actually. I feel like most people expect you to have a job or go to grad school. And I guess not having a job wasn't what stressed me out. It was actually before my senior year of college. And for those of you guys who don't know, I graduated college in 3 years. So it was in between my second and third year of college that I got really stressed because I couldn't decide whether I was gonna go to grad school or if I was gonna not. And I almost applied to grad school just for kicks because I just felt so stressed by, not necessarily that my parents or anyone pressured me, but just this looming pressure that you have to go to grad school or have a really good job. I didn't do either right after post-grad. It was the best thing I could have done for myself and one of the greatest life decisions that I have ever made. How I went about it with my post-grad life is I graduated in June in 3 years, like I said. Immediately after, as in the next day, I took a flight to Colorado with my aunt and her family, and we did that for a week, and that was her grad present to me. That was really cool. I'd never been to Colorado, and it was super pretty because it was right in the beginning of summer. And then that kind of started my 6 months of post-grad life. Just as a really quick overview of what happened there, is I literally did nothing and I traveled. I started traveling in June. I went to Colorado. September to October, I backpacked through Europe, and I went to 30, anyways. So what it looked like for me is I graduated in June. Next day I went to Colorado on a trip. Didn't do anything for summer. Come September, October, I went backpacking through Europe, which was amazing. And a video coming soon with clips of that and whatnot. Was home for 2 weeks, went off to Asia with my family they were there for 3 weeks, I was there for a month. I come back for the holidays, January rolls around, and then I go to Chicago. And that was actually pretty much, I would say, the end of my trip. So that was the first 6 months, or the end of my traveling. So that was the first 6 months of post-grad for me, and that's kind of how I categorize it in my brain, is my months of travel, and then adult life. So while I was away in the Philippines, I applied to a bunch of jobs just for kicks, and I ended up landing one of them. I'm not gonna name the company or anything, just for privacy purposes. But I got a job in December and I started up in January, kind of overlapping the time I went to Chicago. So I started working and then I went to Chicago, then I kept working. So I got a job 6 months after I graduated and I didn't do anything in that time. And I'm telling that story to not even half, like a little bit of bragging of, wow, I went to go travel, but also just to let you guys know that it'll be okay. Everyone has a different path. And I took a traveling then a job. A lot of my friends took a job. Some of them went straight to grad school. Some of them are doing other things. I don't really know what, but I'm sure someone's doing something else. You'll figure out what you want to do, and later it might not be the best decision that you have ever made, or for someone like me, it was the best decision of my life and I would never take it back. Don't feel stressed that you have to get a job. I know everyone's in a different situation. For this whole video, I know everyone has different financial, personal, etc. situations. But I'm just speaking on my behalf and my experience. And if you can, go travel. You don't have to travel, but like take a week off to just do things that you like, invest in your hobbies for that, little time that you have off. I just think that after school and doing school for all of your life, for 15 plus years or whatever it is, that having a break is important for everyone. Whether you're gonna take a break for a couple of days and not doing anything, a week, travel like I did. I didn't have a job for that long, but for me, that was the best decision, and I definitely recommend everyone to just take a mental break for yourself, please. Because I feel like most people get burnt out from constant stress, constant anxiety, this and that, and I think a break is well needed. So end of my first piece of advice is everyone takes a different path, so don't be stressed if you're not doing the same thing that everyone else is doing. Everyone is doing different things. Let me move on to my next step before I keep going. And I'm going to be doing my eyebrows. I recently got the Anastasia Dip Brow, like everyone has been raving about forever. I still use the NYX micro pencil one, but I just wanted to try this out. And this one is in ebony. So I'm gonna be doing that. And forewarning, I don't do like Instagram eyebrows or anything. I'm trying to make this natural, and also I just don't do that on a regular basis, so don't come after me. Next point on my advice is to stay in your lane. And that sounds, what do you mean stay in your lane? It's exactly what it sounds like if you guys drive, which most of you probably do drive. Stay in your lane, don't move around and look at what everyone else is doing. If anything, use everyone else's motivation, but don't let it tear you down. Because whether you're in the same field, like major job field, whatever, being sad over not being as successful as someone else isn't gonna get you to your place of success. 2, everyone measures success differently. So for some people, that could be CEO of a company. For me, being successful doesn't mean I have to be the CEO of a company. Say for another person who graduated with international business, for them owning a multi-billion-dollar international corporation means success. And for me, that doesn't. For me, being successful is different. Having a family, traveling, you know, going at a certain pace in my job, like that is success to me, but for some people it's not. So don't get it in your head that just because someone got a Facebook offer, some of my friends, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram offers before they even graduated. Like I have friends who got their offers, say, for example, Facebook. One of my friends that I did visit while I was traveling, I was so happy. Like I use that as like, wow, I'm so happy versus I was jealous or I felt bad about myself. And I think most of my advice is gonna come with changing your mindset or like being in a certain mindset graduating, which is why it wasn't as rough for me as some people. It was rough, but I think it could have been more rough, but I already came into the mindset of this is my life, that's someone else's life, this is what I'm doing, and I'm not gonna try to let it get to my head. Yeah, I feel like, I think that's like the biggest one. The hardest part of post-grad is comparing yourself to people. You know, social media and comparing yourself, being around really intelligent people and comparing yourselves. Like I went to a top tier public university and there's a lot of very intelligent people. Like going to college, most of us were at the top of our class, valedictorians, top 5%, whatever. I was in that as well. And then you go to college and you meet all of these well-connected, talented, beautiful, smart, involved people. And it's really hard not to feel crappy about yourself if you're not doing the same thing. But me feeling crappy about myself isn't gonna make me any more successful. The only thing you should be doing in regards to being, say, jealous about other people and all of that is using that to motivate you. You just have to have that armor in your brain of, this is not something that is going to hold me back. If anything, that's gonna catapult me into the next thing of my life and motivate me to, you know, go out, apply for jobs, do all of my interviews, hustle. A big part of post-grad is hustling. You'll figure out your own way to success. That's the crazy thing about post-grad is that, how many times did I say post-grad in this video? But the crazy thing is that there's so many different paths in terms of, say, me getting to be CEO of Instagram. There's this one path you could do this path. Like it's unlimited, the amount of experiences that you can do to get to the same point. And I think that's something to remember is, yes, there could be one end goal, but there are so many different paths. Like I feel like in school, it's semi-linear where you go from pre-K to kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, high school, college. And yeah, we go to different schools, but for the most part, it's a semi-linear path to getting a degree. But after that, your whole world explodes. There are so many options, and I think that's what's so overwhelming about it. I could go to work, I could go to school, I couldn't do anything. I could be a potato, like I could take this time off and then go here. Like it's endless. And I think that's the scary part about graduating. That's a tangent. So on to the next point. I'm gonna move on to my next point and also my next piece of advice. My third piece of advice is to have really realistic expectations of what it's gonna look like for you. So that means, say jobs, for instance, the chances are very high that you won't have one of those big name jobs. And that's okay. Because again, it takes different experiences to get to certain places, and there's nothing wrong with working for a startup instead of a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Yes, I would probably say yes to an offer to Disney to at least get that experience, but don't let it get to you if you don't have a company with a name. In my experience, I got a company I had never heard of, and without, again, revealing any names, I'm using Hula Bronzer, by the way. I got a job with a company, and while I was getting that job, we were actually getting acquired with a company that I personally feel does have a name, and a name that everyone knows, at least if you're at least my age or older, like you know what company I'm talking about. And for my friends who know me, you know where I work now, or you know who my company got bought out by. But going into the company, I wasn't thinking about a name. I was just thinking about getting experience and hustling. And I think that's something to keep in mind is have a balance of realistic expectations of this is a good job for me, but this is not my ideal job. And as a 20, 21, 22, however old you are, you're just starting your career. So don't let it get to your head when the company you're working for doesn't have a good name. There are other things like company culture, your ability to grow and move up, and things like that, your coworkers, that you should be looking into over, say, a name, because a name isn't everything, y'all. And no, I haven't worked for Disney or like a big company like Fox or EY or anything like that. But I think with any company, there are things to look towards that aren't just a name. Just start off being realistic, especially coming out of post-grad where you probably don't have experience or it's very minimal. And I know that's not for every industry and every individual and every kind of degree, but that's just for most of us. Be very realistic of what your resume looks like, who you're competing against, and the types of companies that you're applying for. All right, on to the next step, and it's going to be blush. I am going for more of a glowy look. We're gonna take photos at golden hour. And I wanna look as like bronze and goddessy as I can. And this is in Luminoso. It's a nice corally peach color, and it's also very glowy. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. So I'm gonna be putting that on the apples of my cheeks as well as a little bit on my nose. And my next piece of advice. This one is, I don't know why I feel like this one is different than the others, but I feel like it's kind of in a different category. My next piece of advice is for you guys to have a routine graduating. So like I said in the beginning of my video, I didn't do anything that summer after I graduated. From when I got back from my trip, so end of June, to when I left for my next trip in September, I didn't do anything. And just a quick background is I've always been a person who was super involved. In high school, I took like 6 APs in 1 year. I was like president of 2 clubs on ASB and on like 3 other clubs as a member. So I did it all. Plus I had a job. And when I went to college, by the end of college, I was working 28 to 35 hours a week. Plus I was taking 20 units, so 5 classes at a UC school. And if you guys know anything about anything, that's crazy. Like, how did I even have enough time in the day? But that's just the kind of person I was. And when I graduated, I did not do anything, nothing. I literally was at home. I would wait for tea so we could hang out. And by the time he got to me, like, I was just so restless, not doing anything during the day. So my advice comes in twofold. Either 1, you have a routine. Example, you wake up at 6 a.m., you go to the gym for an hour, you eat breakfast, you job hunt, and you allot X amount of time to go hang out with friends. So basically you're doing, you know, the same thing every day. Or 2, you're just really busy. Like, you fill your time. It might not be the same schedule every day. You might not be going to the gym or doing job apps every day or seeing friends every day, but you have a handful of things that constantly keep you busy. And you don't have to be busy 24/7, but you're busy enough where you don't have time to go crazy that you're not doing anything. I'm gonna put my hair down because I'm tired of myself looking like an egg. Something that I forgot to do that I've actually been getting more into now with videos and photos and stuff is getting into your hobbies. So in that time period, whether you're working or you're just slumming around and kicking it, make sure you tap into your hobbies, do things that you love, because as you get older, again, this is just coming from a 21-year-old who doesn't know that much about the world, but whatever, is you have less time to do stuff you love, and you're gonna see your friends less and less, and it just gets sad. So make sure you fill your time with things that you love, especially if you have a lot of time and you're not working. Go out, go to the beach, party, I don't know, whatever you wanna do, and make sure you make time for that. And even now that I'm working, I'm trying to make time for my hobbies, and yeah, it'll really help with the transition and make you feel stimulated still, because for me it was hard because I felt like my brain creatively, academically, whatever, was not getting stimulated. So I just felt so unproductive and not like myself. Make sure you tap into your hobbies, do things that you love, and have a routine, whether that is structured or just filling your time. I am moving on to the last piece of advice and my last makeup, so I'm hoping this makes sense. I feel like I've talked about this with my friends a lot and giving them my advice and my experience, and I know I've been rambling on this, but it is kind of a casual get ready with me advice video and just coming from my experience. Continuing on, we still have highlighter, And I'm gonna spray my face first with this Morphe setting spray, because that's what all the booty gurus do, so I'm gonna do it too. Whew. And that really does just make my highlighter pop. And I was gonna do falsies, but I have leftover eyelash extensions that I think will just do the trick, and I have contacts in. I think I have enough that it looks like I just have crazy natural eyelashes with mascara, but they are getting janky, so yeah. While that setting spray is drying, I'm gonna put a little bit of bottom lash, and I'm using the Lash Princess by Essence. I like this for a non-waterproof mascara. It comes off really quick, and I get a lot of compliments on it when I use it, even though I don't have that much lash to begin with. Okay, I got a little bit of my bottom lash going. Okay, now I'm gonna put my Champagne Pop highlighter on, and here's just like, I guess, wrapping up, even though wrapping up probably is going to mean another 10 minutes of footage, is to just be patient and be kind with yourself. Post-grad life is a struggle. It really is. It's different for everyone. And the thing is, if you are motivated, you will get a job. If that's what you're concerned about. Like, if I know a lot of people are concerned about getting a job, and I just tell all my friends, you're educated, you've got the degree, so something's in there, you'll get a job. I have Asian parents, and even they kind of agreed with this, where they told me, you're gonna be working your entire life, so there's no need to rush. I was still doing stuff, so it wasn't like I was just feeding off of them doing nothing. And I'm pretty much done with my makeup. I'm not gonna put lippy on until later because I'm probably gonna eat, but it's probably just gonna be like a clear sparkly gloss or some sort of orange tone color. And sorry for the rambling. This is just straight coming out of my brain in whatever order. But some last thoughts are that if you're still in college and if you're graduating next month, like a lot of my friends are, enjoy your friends and enjoy being away from home. Some of you guys will move home, some of you guys won't, but if you're gonna move home, enjoy just like your freedom and just enjoy not having as much responsibility, because as you get older, you do get more responsibilities. I would say that I'm in a pretty fortunate situation with my parents and like living and financially and all of that. But while you're still in school for another week or 2 weeks or whatever, enjoy just being in school and being a kid and partying and going out with your friends, since I know everyone's celebrating. And even if you're gonna go to grad school, your undergrad is not the same. Undergrad is a completely different experience than if you take any grad school, med school, whatever. And if you've already graduated, and if you're going to graduate, this goes for everyone, is definitely be patient and be kind with yourself. Don't think that just because you haven't gotten to this goal that you thought you were gonna get to, that it's the end of your life or that you're a failure. You're not. I think the main thing to take out of this video, if you've survived probably like this last 30 minutes, is take it one day at a time. Try to keep yourself self-motivated. Your future is in your hands. Your future's in your hands. That's crazy. You can do so many things. And the world literally is your oyster. It's important to exercise positive things in your brain, especially going into a different part of your life. The adult, this is actually the adult world, and this is a bigger thing than any of us have ever experienced, and I'm sure I'll have more adult experiences later. But for the first time in your life, you're going out, you don't have to go to school, you don't have to do anything. Like, no one can tell you what to do besides you. And so it's really important to have that mentality of, it's okay, whatever I do is going to be okay. The choices I make will bring me to somewhere greater. And as long as you stay positive and self-motivated and kind and love yourself, you'll be fine. And like my sister always says, invest in yourself. So find things that will make your heart happy, your mind happy, and your life happy. Okay, I'm done rambling. If I have anything else to say, I'll put it in a vlog or make a separate video. And one more spray. And this is my completed makeup look, if you guys wanted to know. It just looks like natural, but better. I just enhanced my looks, basically. And yeah, congratulations. You made it this far. For you guys who just graduated and for the rest of the class of 2019, we're about to graduate. Even though everyone gets a degree, it's a huge milestone to tell people, wow, I finished X amount of years of school, then I got through college, and now I'm here. And even though it's a baseline, it's something to be proud of. I got mine on Father's Day last year, and I walked down the aisle and I got to see my dad and kiss him on the cheek before I got up to get my degree. And as a parent, I think that's one of the few times, at least as an Asian kid, that my parents have told me they're proud is when my sister and I got our degrees. And yeah, I think it's something to be very proud of. So if anything, just be proud of yourself. All right, congratulations guys. I will talk to you later, and hopefully this made you feel a little bit better about moving forward with your life. And if not, sorry that you had to listen to all of that. Okay, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.